Hello and welcome. Let's have some music. Let's post up the socials. There you go. How quick is that? It's wonderful, isn't it? How quickly we can just jump in. Almost don't need the music anymore. It'll be even quicker when the charts are coming from a website. Or will it be? Not necessarily that quicker. Anyway, welcome to the daily NFT market health analysis with me, Daniel Tenner, aka Swombat, where we're going to look at the state of the market based on data rather than vibes. Although for once, the vibes and the data seem to sort of more or less agree. Like, the vibes are pretty depressed, and the market is matching that quite well. As you can see, so yesterday there was, maybe we're like, maybe we're going to start start climbing or something. Maybe this is the market, like we've already touched the market bottom here. Nope, we're still going down. And it doesn't look like it's stopping now. If we look at the bar charts, you can see it's lower over the last 16 hours or so. It's still trending down. It can go lower, it can go to zero. There could be no volume at all for a while. If we look at Zeneca Old and Zeneca New, they're also like super low. Women-led projects had a bit of a pump there thanks to Meta Angels largely, although also a couple of other projects had a little bit of volume, but not a huge amount given the number of projects in that index, which leads to this kind of picture where everything is kind of like not great, basically. If we have a look at, this might be a fairly short update. So feel free to post some questions if you have them, because I'm going to run out of things to say there because it's just the same old bad stuff. Are we at the worst level ever for the top 10? No, we're at the worst level since the lull, the downtrend that followed the ApeCoin release. But we're not at the worst level ever. We've been lower in end of March, before the ApeCoin release. We got lower during the November and December, October, November, December bear markets. But we're at those kind of low levels, and the prices are actually lower than they were back then. So obviously that's not true for Bored Apes, but it's true for the basket of projects. Like, generally their prices are trending down quite a bit. I think this red line, by the way, still includes the projects that have been taken out of the index, like Pudgy Penguins and so on. So it's a little bit more than just the top 10 in that price index. But anyway, the new version of that will fix that. So yeah, what to watch for here is at some point this is going to bottom out. At the very least, it's going to start to get flat. Could be lower than this. Here it stayed around here for quite a while, for like almost a month. In December, actually 2 weeks there. Here it was also a couple of weeks. So it could stay for a couple of weeks around here, but it needs to stop dropping before it can start rising. So at least we need to see some kind of sideways trend at some point, which I suspect will happen soon. I don't think we're going to go much lower. We might go a bit lower, but we're going to be, I think, entering some kind of side trend like that. And then eventually there'll be some kind of build up that starts again. And that's where we'll know that we're heading back towards a bull market, or towards more activity in the market anyway. I hesitate to call it a bull. As for the connection to Bitcoin, thanks for the question, the light. So will the reversal happen before or after BTC gets above the bull market support band? I don't know, but I don't think it's really connected to Bitcoin being in a bull market. I think, to me, the NFT market and the crypto market, there is a connection, obviously, but it's not, you don't need Bitcoin to be booming. Bitcoin wasn't booming last summer, and it was below its bull market support band, and that's, in August. If we load up actually TradingView right now and have a look at that, and just look at the bull market support band for Bitcoin. I'll switch on where is it? Here it is. So if we look at August last year, July, August. Okay, there was a bit of being above the bull market support band, but it was below the bull market support band until like sometime in August, and like Bitcoin, NFTs were booming like from late July to like September. And yes, there was a little bit of Bitcoin moving above its bull market support band there, but I don't think that's strictly necessary. And if we look at January, January was completely below the bull market support band. It went below the bull market support band in December, and volumes in NFTs started trending up around then, while we were clearly below the bull market support band. So I don't think there's a connection between the bull market support band and NFTs pumping, because late December, early January here, where we were clearly above and Bitcoin wasn't doing very well, we had a bull, including the sort of euphoric aftermath of a bull, where also like shit projects were pumping. So the main thing that I think is that like as long as crypto isn't doing anything interesting, people start looking for gains in NFTs. And if crypto is rising rapidly or dropping rapidly, then people get scared and they don't buy NFTs. That's the only correlation I've seen. Even that doesn't hold all the time. So I think it's partly uncorrelated and partly correlated. There's kind of impacts between them, but not necessarily always predictable impacts. Yeah, so if we look at this, like one thing to note is that the drop has been remarkably steep. I mean, like if we look at this here, this took quite a while to get down to the bottom, to get down to here. Here it's been like a fair bit steeper, not a lot steeper, but it's been steeper. Like if we it depends how we draw this line. Like this is definitely steeper than this. So somehow, I mean, probably it's combined with the kind of economic downturn and stuff that's made it even more of a brutal downtrend. And in both cases, we had the peak followed by some aftermaths that were downtrending, and here we had the peak followed by, here they were both together. If you'll recall, this was the Terra week. Actually, both of those peaks were during the Terra week, and there was for some reason one sell-off peak and then one second peak as well soon after that. Why? I don't know. If somebody has a theory about that, I'd love to hear it. So yeah, in terms of the top 10, basically, we just need to watch it and wait for it to stabilize somewhere and then eventually start rising up. And in the meantime, we've got this signal that is data, and it doesn't matter what people are saying on Twitter. I believe that as long as the top 10 is continuing to scrape the bottom like this, anybody who's talking about like, oh my god, like things are picking up again, is just trying to sell you something. And you can probably take what they say with a bit more skepticism, as long as the data is telling us that no, there's no bull market right now. Zeneca doesn't hold any surprises. It's already kind of possibly in its sideways trend, or maybe it will drop lower. It certainly can. It is currently at one of its lowest levels ever, but remember, Zeneca is a kind of dead index, doesn't get live updated with new projects as all projects go defunct, so it should trend downwards over time, which it is. I mean, as long as projects die, which they do. Zeneca New has the same property as does the women-led projects. Hopefully soon we'll have better indices that are more alive and in the new interface, which I showed yesterday. Watch yesterday's video, the second half, if you want to see a preview of the kind of cool shit we're going to do once I have the new charting engine out. Zeneca New is kind of, not doing well. It is at its lowest level ever. And I don't know if this index will ever recover. It doesn't have to. It could just keep dropping. Right now, this index confirms what we know from the top 10, which is that generally activity is very low across the market. Finally, the women-led projects, although it is showing a kind of rise here, because we know this is largely due to Meta Angels having some extra activity, which, as far as I know, is due to an alpha call being posted on a Discord somewhere. We know not to trust this, which is, one of the reasons why it's so important to have the underlying data as well, to be able to see why the index is going up, which is what I don't like about, looking at the OpenSea charts, or even looking at the Nansen index, because Nansen have some kind of index that they they publish, but you don't know what's inside. You don't know why it's pumping. You just see a kind of line that's sort of moving up and down, and like, you know, what does it mean? Why is it going up? Is it because there's been a new mint? Is it because they've added a new project to the index? Is like, you know, why? It doesn't say, but here we know why, and we know why this is happening. This is happening because of Meta Angels, and we know that it's already over. Like, it's not continued over the last 8 hours and even 16 hours. And so we know that it's going to go back down. It's not like maybe something else will start pumping and then I'll be wrong, but it's likely that this is going to start going back down, and that the women-led projects index will join all the other indices in this kind of long downtrend. I think that's it for the indices. Feel free to post again, like, any questions. Thanks for the light who posted a question early. When watching this, please do post questions, and you don't have to wait until the end to post the questions. Let's have just one last quick look at TradingView to look at the crypto and the sort of general market context. In case you don't look at this stuff, like, so Bitcoin is still trending sideways. I mean, it's been basically between 31.4 thousand and 28.5 thousand, which is a pretty narrow range for Bitcoin for like a week or something since the sort of interesting events of last week. ETH is similarly in a relatively narrow range between 1,900 and 2,160. Will it continue trading sideways? Maybe. Will it start going downwards? Maybe. I don't know. But in case you weren't there when I was discussing this, I continue to think that this was a capitulation week, where the market really, a lot of people sold out, liquidated at the bottom at the worst time, but that's what people do. And that whilst we may see a continued downtrend for a little while, we've cleaned out the market quite a lot at this point, and maybe we're going to start to see it. We've prepared the ground for a possible uptrend, kind of like here when there was this liquidation candle and it continued trending downwards, but the market reversal was set up at that point. That's the way I interpret this, and you might say that I'm completely wrong, and that's totally fine. I'm just trying to figure out my way through this market, as many people are. Worth maybe noting that the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, the S&P continue to have pretty bad days, although the FTSE is also down for now. Today it's still open. It was up earlier. It's still not looking particularly amazing. Oh, this is the weekly view. Sorry, let's look at this again. So on the weekly view, yeah, Nasdaq, they're not looking good, basically. None of those are looking particularly good. So the market context is not just that, NFTs are flat and everything else is booming, but everything is just bad at the moment. Cool. So I'll switch on the music again in case it draws out some questions, but I feel like there's not much else I want to say about the market today. It's kind of dead or dying. It will come back to life. It's a kind of we live in a magical world of NFTs where markets can die and then come back to life. It's happened before. We've seen it happen here, and we've seen it happen here, and we've seen it happen here. So the fact that the market is kind of dead at the moment doesn't mean it's always going to be dead. But it's definitely not looking very positive right now. But following these charts, you'll be the first to know when things turn around. Yeah, it is a good opportunity to accumulate. A number of projects are at a discount. Some projects that I have been accumulating while this downtrend was happening have already started going up, so I can't accumulate them anymore. Like Meta Angels was sitting at 0.1 for a while. A disclosure, I own 34 Meta Angels, but it was sitting at 0.1 for a while, and I was buying them. I got to about 34, and then it went up to 0.14, 0.15, and now it's gone up to 0.2-ish. So I'm not accumulating anymore right now. Similarly for Zen Academy, where I have 24 of them, they've gone more pricey than the very bottom. Which, in hindsight, if they're ever worth if they pull a Llamaverse and they're worth multiple ETH, is going to seem oh damn it, I could have bought so many more of them. But I feel good about owning 20 to 30 something. I think that's a good amount. But if there's other projects that other projects are probably also cheap, so it's a good time to accumulate them. Cool. Right, well, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you join me for the review of My Pet Hooligan later today in about 45 minutes. And I'll see you later, or I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for your attention. And yeah, happy trading, or happy sitting on your hands and not trading if that's what you prefer to do right now. Cheers. Bye-bye.